Firstly, I would like to welcome you to my country, the Juru and Ngaro people of the Birregubba Nation. I would also like to pay my respect to elders past, present and emerging and acknowledge their connections to country. Please be advised throughout this video there may be images of people that are deceased. I live and work in the community of Bowen. Bowen is a township of the Whitsunday region. Bowen has a population of about 10,000 people and is well known for its Bowen mangoes and has some of the most beautiful beaches around. Bowen is also known for the film Australia, which was made here also. Bowen was declared an official town in 1861, holding the title of North Queensland's oldest town. Bowen has a long history. Juru people inhabited this area long before white settlers. The wider community don't know some of the sad truths about Bowen when it was settled. I remember stories from my granddad telling me that the Aboriginal men amongst the tribe were fighting back against the white settlers, and they became feared of the Aboriginal men. Between 1861 and 1867, it was desperately suggested that all of the Aboriginal women and children were to be removed from Bowen to a remote island in order to lure the men to follow them and to alleviate the violence. A lot of the families were taken to Yarrabah Aboriginal Mission, Strathmore Station, Palm Island Aboriginal Mission, or other Aboriginal missions around Queensland. I'm going to share my family's story on my dad's side. Tom Pryor, a Ngaro man of the Birregubba Nation, was born on Lindeman Island sometime in the 1800s and married a Juru woman named Emily Pickard. They had two boys, George Pryor, who was my great-grandfather, and Peter Pryor. They lived in Bell's Gully, which is a creek that runs through Bowen. In 1915, Tom Pryor and Emily Pryor was removed from Bell's Gully and taken to Strathmore Station, about 1,000 kilometres west of Bowen. They were taken to Halls Creek Aboriginal Mission near Mission Beach in far north Queensland after that. They were also removed from Halls Creek Aboriginal Mission to Palm Island Aboriginal Mission, where they lived out the rest of their lives. My great-grandfather George Pryor was the first Aboriginal policeman on Palm Island, where he retired to Forest Beach in the Hinchinbrook region where he raised his family. My granddad Trevor Pryor has passed on all of our knowledge about our mob that was passed down generation to generation. In 2015, my dad and my mum moved to Bowen, as did I. We moved to Bowen 100 years later from when Tom Pryor and Emily Pickard were taken from Bowen. We also moved into a house right near Bell's Gully without knowing. Living and working back on country with Indigenous families is really rewarding and special. I work for Girradalla Community Co-op as their Indigenous Sport and Recreation Officer. I have worked for Girradalla Community Co-op for 5 years, running sporting programs for all community, building positive partnerships with schools and other organisations and all community. We as Girradalla believe in working with peoples no matter what colour, background or beliefs. Even though as I drive around Bowen, I can only think of a few places that show respect to Juru people. There is a statue of a Gabbalamunda, which means carpet snake in Juru language. The carpet snake is a totem for Juru people. This is located at the back of a park, out of sight to the community or any tourists that come through town. This park is in the middle of town. Bowen High School showcased their Aboriginal art on a building on school grounds. The painting shares a story of how Aboriginal people lived in Bowen. Horseshoe Bay is a well-known beach in the area. We have a sculpture in the water. There is supposed to be a man-made reef. A manta ray is also shown in the sign. The sign shows respect to the Ngaro peoples, who are traditional owners of the Whitsunday Islands and are neighbouring tribe to the Juru people. The manta ray is a totem for the Ngaro people. A mural in town is painted on the back of our local RGA. This painting shows respect to South Sea Islander people that were brought here in the early 1900s to cut sugarcane. With permission from our elders, I'm showing you rock art paintings that are located just north of Bowen, about 15 kilometres. These paintings are dated to be over 1,000 years old. Because of these paintings are on private property, these aren't open to the wider community. But because of the positive relationships we're building within our community, traditional owners are allowed access to these paintings. This is my family story, and now mine. Hope you enjoyed.